Art and techniques. Artists may use many different methods to create visual images and present important ideas. Whatever technique they use, they all hope to make us see the world in a new way and to think what we are. Pottery, also called ceramics, is an art of making objects from clay. Wet clay is shaped by hand or by using a potter's wheel. Then it is dried, fired at high temperature, cooled and painted or covered with a glaze, thin layer of glass. This vase was made in ancient Greece around 400 BC. A fresco is a picture painted directly onto fresh, wet plaster covering a ceiling or wall. As the plaster dries, the paint bonds it, creating an image. This is an Egyptian fresco. Oil paints were invented in Europe around AD 1400. They could be blended smoothly together. This allowed artists to create subtle effects of light and shade, as is painting by John Constable 1776 to 1837. Sculptors carve stone or mold clay to create statues and small figures, more model figures. This baked clay figure comes from Bahia culture of Ecuador, South America, and is over 1500 years old. Watercolors are paints made of pigments, so solid colors mixed with water. They are used to create delicate transparent washes of color on fine paper. This watercolor is by British artist Samuel Prout 1783 to 1852. Since medieval times in Europe, circa AD 500 to 1500, colored glass have been used to decorate churches and other buildings. Stained glass windows are made from pieces of glass cut to shape, then joined by strips of lead. The technique of collage takes its name from a French word coller, which means to stick. To create a collage, artists glue scraps of paper, fabric, and many other materials onto wood, canvas, or paper to make an attractive design. Lithography was invented in 1798. French painter Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec 1841 to 1901 used lithography to create his famous posters. Lithography is a way of creating multiple copies of a picture. An image is drawn on stone with wax. Oil and water are poured over the stone. Ink runs off but sticks to the wax image. Sheets of paper were pressed on the top of the stone. They pick up a layer of ink. Machines used a similar technique to print newspapers and magazines, but use curved metal. The Parsis, from the book India, an introduction by Khushwant Singh. The number of Parsis is now less than 1 lakh, most of them living in the city of Bombay. It is a dying community. The rate of death is higher than the rate of birth. They admit no converts nor recognize offsprings of non-Parsi fathers as Parsis. An increasing number of Parsi girls now marry outside the community. The Parsis have made their mark on the industrial and social life of the country. They are the richest community of India and the only one with 100% literacy. They control many industries which they run on modern lines. The best known are the House of Tatas with interests in steel, automobile, airline, textile, etc., and Godrej, safe, air conditioner, steel furniture, etc. Parsi charities account for many schools, colleges, hospitals, and picture galleries in Bombay. Parsis are Zoroastrians by faith, Iranian Aryans by race. The word Parsi is derived from Farsi, meaning Persian. They fled from Iran at different periods of Muslim persecution of non Muslims. By the 17th century, there was a sizable Parsi community on the Gujarat coast. Hindu rulers gave them protection and freedom to worship their gods. In return, the Parsis adopted many Hindu customs and names. Patel, Desai, Gandhi, Mehta accepted Gujarati as a language. When the British came, the Parsis emigrated from rural Gujarat to Bombay and readily Europeanized themselves. Many of the names, namely contractor, engineer, carpenter, ready money, etc., bear testimony to their eagerness to be more easily understood by the English. Despite the fact that some Parsis took a prominent part in Indian freedom movement, the Dadabhai Nauroji, Shapurji, Shapur Saklatwala, Jabhala, Nariman, the Indians have not forgiven them for favoring the British and their continuing enthusiasm for Iran. Many Parsis prefer to describe themselves as Iranians, Persians rather than Indians. Zoroastrianism is one of the world's oldest religions. The founder Zoroaster or Zarathustra is said to have lived at least 300 years before Alexander. Some scholars put his birth as far back as 1000 BC. Zarathustra belonged to the Pitama clan and was the third of the 5 sons born to a pious scholar. Purusharashtra and his wife Dudukdova. At the age of 15, he left home and spent several years wandering and meditating. It was during his wanderings that he had a vision of God. He spent the rest of his life preaching. He was persecuted, and when persecution failed to silence him, he